This man had built the most powerful rifle the world had ever seen. When he tested it for the first time, the result looked odd. On the concrete wall, there was only a tiny hole on the surface, but the backside looked like a tornado had tore it apart. The wall's temperature had shot up to nearly 1,000 degrees, and even nearby buildings were scorched by the blast. To make it even stronger, this man added a custom power battery pack and asked his friend Jerry to record everything on camera. When he pulled the trigger again, firing in bursts, a steel bridge in the distance collapsed instantly. Excited, they rushed to show the video evidence to the military, hoping to sell it for a fortune. But Colonel Sam, the military officer in charge, didn't buy it. He thought the video was fake. This man nodded calmly and brought out his cartoonish-looking prototype rifle. Sam raised an eyebrow. That looked more like a toy than a weapon. But this man didn't flinch. He aimed at a heavily armored tank, took a deep breath, and pulled the trigger. In an instant, the tank's thick armor melted like paper. The shockwave was so strong that everyone nearby was thrown to the ground. He immediately asked this man how much he wanted for the weapon and its blueprints. This man, knowing the power he held, replied, $1 billion. Shocking, Sam agreed without hesitation and promised to arrange the funds within 3 days. But behind the scenes, Sam was plotting. He ordered his man to dig into this man's background, his friends, his weaknesses, his family. On the day of the deal, this man arrived at the meeting spot eager but cautious. He had secretly handed the weapon to his trusted partner Jake, just in case things went wrong. When this man reached the site, instead of money transfer, he was met with guns and betrayal. Sam's man surrounded him. And worse, his family was being held hostage. This man had no choice but to call his team and order them to hand over the rifle and all related data. Once Sam had what he wanted, he let this man and his family go. But this man wasn't done. He had hidden a tracker inside the weapon. That night, with his team's help, he placed a signal booster on a nearby rooftop and began tracing Sam's convoy. When the signal locked in, this man pulled out his new invention, the second-generation super rifle. It looked harmless like a toy water gun, but inside it carried a destructive force, far beyond the first one. This man exhaled slowly and pulled the trigger. The bullet ripped through the armored vehicle like it was nothing. He fired again. Explosions erupted, flames engulfed the convoy, and in seconds, everything Sam, the stolen data, the weapon, were turned to ashes. When the police arrived, Inspector Matt could only stare at this man's toy rifle. In disbelief, this man walked away quietly with his family, leaving the chaos behind, waiting for the next dawn of his unstoppable technology.